Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Jessica Lopez. Today we received a very special delivery via UPS coming all the way from France, and probably the most important package we've had on our doorstep in a very long time, the Thrustmaster T500RS. We have it here in the studio for the very first time, and Darren had the honor of unboxing it. Here he is.
Big moment here in the Inside Sim Racing studio, just received from France, from what I understand, one of the only ones in the US, the T500RS, the official Gran Turismo 5 wheel, and sitting here with an X-Acto knife. We haven't even cracked this box open yet. So we're gonna do this for you, open this box, gonna answer some questions that we had on the forum about the wheel, just gonna do a quick look, first look, see how the brake feels, see how it mounts to the Gamepod here, and then we're going to review it. But the review's not going to be out for about a month. So here we go.
So here's the box, as you guys can see, which is a fairly large size. Obviously, the wheel's not in here, or I'm very strong. But this is it, and this is the wheel and pedal set. And it actually came with a pedal modification, which Darren is going to use as he sets it up with our Gamepod. So here's Darren setting up the wheel and pedals with the modification.
The T500RS comes with an additional part that's called a realistic brake mod. Essentially, it's a bracket that shortens the throw of the pedal and adds this spring and foam material to create a more progressive brake pedal. To install it, you first need to remove this pinch hazard protector from the brake pedal assembly, then install the mod against the bottom of the opening behind the brake pedal and align it with the holes. Using the hardware provided and hex key, install the mod and tighten down the screws. You can put it in a variety of positions to create less or more tension. There was an important note in the instruction manual that states to avoid calibration problems, only install the brake mod in the long run position. So we're going to install it in the Gamepod now. Can't do it with hard mounts. It does have hard mount holes. It's got two here that are about 5 1/4 inches apart. So Ash, Gamepod, we need to get some new drilling here. But yeah, for any of you interested at the drill points, 5 1/4 inch. We're going to see how this thing mounts on the Gamepod. Pedals are going to fit in here, no problem. Actually, Sean, why don't we show them the bottom of the pedals and how these things are built. People might be interested to know what they look like. The way you invert them is just basically flipping the pedals around and moving the base plate up to here. I didn't like the angle. I mean, the angle looks a little too angled. I'd like them more pointed towards the ground. So gonna go with just the F1 style is what they're calling it versus the other way they're calling it the rally style. Gonna get this all installed in here, run some Gran Turismo 5, and then show you guys and tell you guys a little bit about this thing. As you can see, we've got it all set up here on the Gamepod now. They've fixed the tuning menu. No more Thrustmaster, it's now Thrustmaster. So I wonder if us saying something got that fixed. But gonna be doing some driving in Gran Turismo, needless to say, since it's the official Gran Turismo wheel. I'm really looking forward to checking this thing out, man. This thing is very big. Here we go. Have the Lamborghini Gallardo Challenge up in A spec. So this is gonna be my first time trying this wheel out. Figured out, actually, it's gonna be my second time because the mode button was on green, and green means that the gas is on the left and the clutch is on the right for inverted pedals. So red means F1 pedals, green means rally pedals. So got it in F1 mode, and we are ready to roll. Whoa, getting hit. Whoa, that feels good. Whoa! Gotta get used to that paddle shift and not going with the wheel.
Besides getting used to the shifter paddles, the first thing I noticed was how smooth the forces were and that there was absolutely no dead zone or center chatter on the straights in Gran Turismo 5. Now for some specs on the wheel and pedal set. The wheel is 30 centimeters or 12 inches in diameter and is detachable for future upgrades. It's a metal wheel with a rubber grip and has 12 buttons plus 2 metal paddle shifters that do not move with the wheel. They are 18 centimeters and or 7 inches in height. It claims that the wheel rotation is adjustable, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. It comes with internal memory with upgradable firmware. The horn button is not a button. Not sure where the shifter will plug in as there is not a port labeled for it. On the PS3, it's currently only compatible with Gran Turismo 5, and it states on the box that you need to make sure to go online to get the most current update. We tried it with Dirt 2 and F1 2010, and the wheel functions, but with no force feedback, and what feels like a hardware center spring. The pedals are very adjustable. You can adjust the height and spacing by moving the pedal faces, and you can also adjust the tilt of the pedals slightly as well. The arch also acts as a stabilizer so you can push it against the wall. The clutch currently is not functional in GT5 without the shifter, so we were unable to test it at this point. I did plug it into the PC and it was recognized, but without a driver there was no force feedback. It comes with a dual belt system, and my initial impressions are that it has very strong force feedback. This wheel should mount to most rigs with drilling or even using the clamp. We've been using the clamp and the wheel hasn't moved at all. I can say that it's probably the best wheel I've tried with Gran Turismo 5 to date. I will also say that the force feedback delivery reminds me of the higher end wheels like a Frex or an ECCI. Thrustmaster has without a doubt set a benchmark for sim racing wheels with the T500RS. The pedals seem heavy duty with lots of adjustability that I would imagine can be upgraded with something like a perfect pedal or a load cell. With the brake modification installed, it provides good modulation that can be compared to a Nixon modded set of G25 pedals. A few asked about the dimensions. From back to front, it measures 16 inches. It's 14 inches wide, and the back is 12 inches tall when sitting on the floor or in F1 mount position. Others also asked about the brake and how it compares to club sports. To me, they feel like Thrustmaster pedals from the F430 with the added modification. The T500RS will retail for $599 and will be available on January 5th in the US and Europe and January 25th in Japan. In the States, it'll be available at Fry's Electronics as well as Amazon online. In closing, we don't have enough time with this wheel yet to give it a full review. After some time with it and hopefully a PC driver, we will give it a full review here on the show.
Hope you guys have enjoyed our first look at the Thrustmaster T500RS. We certainly are enjoying it here in the studio. We'd like to thank Win Keaton of Thrustmaster for getting it over to us. Make sure you stay tuned to our website, InsideSimRacing.tv. We have a whole page dedicated to this wheel, and we'll continue to update you on any information we get regarding this. And we will be doing a review in just about a month from now, so stay tuned. That's going to wrap it up. Checker flag is out, and so am I.